Hey, this is Chuck, and you are listening to Fans with Bands, the podcast where we talk to the fans and the bands they dig about life, music, and whatever the hell else we want to talk about. Today on Fans with Bands, we're talking to Stonecutters. Check it out. Today's episode is brought to you in part by Fret Rescue. Located in Southeast Michigan, Joe at Fret Rescue has over 17 years of experience as a journeyman luthier. From basic setup to major repairs and restorations, you can put your trust in Fret Rescue. Contact Fret Rescue via email at fretrescue@gmail.com. You can also find them on social media by searching for Fret Rescue, @FERTRESCUE. That's Fret Rescue. Hey, this is Chuck with Fans with Bands, and I'm talking to Brian from Stonecutters. Brian, how you doing?
Hey, great.
Awesome,
Doing
man.
good.
Awesome. I had to go look back at my photos because I was like, when is the first time I saw Stonecutters? And it was at the Full Terror Assault in 2016. So it was like the very
Oh, you're
first
at that
Full
one?
Terror. Yeah, yeah. I was
I
doing some
think.
photography with National Rock Review.
Wow. Do you
Yeah,
remember if we played the big stage or the small stage? We played there twice on
yeah. You were on the
each
big stage.
stage.
You were on the big
Yeah.
stage. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good year. Both
Yeah.
both were great actually, but
Yeah.
I I loved playing full terrace all both times.
Yeah.
Always always a blast.
So
I
yeah, I
think
was.
Sacred Reich played that year
That
on the big
was.
stage too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sacred Reich. Yeah.
Yeah.
It-
They had their original drummer, I remember. I can't remember
yeah.
his name right now, but they had the original drummer. Now they've got Dave McClain back and stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was a blast.
Yeah, it
Still got
was.
pictures. You might have taken the pictures I have from that show. I actually didn't know you were there, huh? That's
Oh,
awesome.
isn't that wild? Yeah. So yeah, I was looking back and I was thinking, I just remember seeing you guys and like was totally impressed, by the heaviness of the band. And
Sweet.
so then when I saw you were going to be at OIGS, this year at KZoo, I was like, I got to talk to you about being on the podcast. And you said, yeah, sure. That sounds awesome. So thank you so
Yeah,
much.
I appreciate you having me. It's great.
Yeah. So I like to kind of start off with like the origin story. So how did you get into music, and then how did the Stonecutters come to be?
Stonecutters have been together. It's been about 18 years.
Wow, awesome.
We started around 05, 06. And before Stonecutters, I mentioned it when we were chatting just a minute ago, but I was in this hardcore band on Century Media called My Own Victim. And we put out like 7 albums.
Holy crap.
And I did that. We went to Europe with Biohazard and Slapshot, Marauder, and all these Century Media bands and stuff. We went over 3 times.
Nice.
Mucky Pup, I really liked them a lot. That was our first tour over there. But yeah, that was like all in the 90s. And then around 05, 06, I decided I was kind of starting to really write the lyrics anyway. So I felt like I wanted to just do the vocals too.
Oh,
And I
cool.
just started trying it out and I mean, I'm no Rob Halford at all. I'm kind of the opposite. I'm pretty pukey vocal style, but that's what I wanted to go for. I always like Blaine from The Accused and
Yeah.
just that John Tardy obituary, that
Yeah, for
kind of
sure.
pukey vocal style, and kind of do it my way, make it
Yeah.
my own style. And when I was kind of writing the riffs and the songs, I felt where the vocals should go, and they kind of flowed out of me and the lyrics. And I don't know, we're 6 albums in with Stonecutters now. So
Nice.
it's been a run for 18 years now.
That's
Um,
awesome, man. That's
yeah, it's been a
fantastic.
while. Since COVID, I think we had slowed it down a bit. But mainly really like we're going out on the road some, but we love like recording. And our other guitar player Chris has a studio built in
Oh,
his basement, so we just record at home with him.
nice.
And we've already been kind of messing around with some new songs and stuff. And we just put out Eye of the Skull late last year, but we're hoping to maybe put out some little EP or something here soon. Just kind of keep it active.
Awesome, man.
So
Um,
yeah,
yeah. Speaking of Eye of the Skull, I love that album. I've got the vinyl. I
killing it.
thought it was
Yeah,
it's fantastic, man.
it's
Um,
got the death cover on there and
yeah,
all.
yeah. I was
How
gonna say
people comment.
when you were talking about your vocals, I kind of think you sound a little bit like Chuck. I mean, um,
Wow,
you
I
have that kind
appreciate
of
that.
attack that he has.
I'm a big fan. Really of all of the Death albums. I got to see them on Spirit. No, I'm sorry, Human and Individual Thought Patterns,
Yeah.
and I actually met Chuck and got his autograph. And
Oh,
basically, I just
really?
told him, yeah, I just told him he's awesome and great, and I love
Yeah.
him. And he just kind of laughed and was appreciative and signed my stuff. And I was a little like 15-year-old kid at the time, but
That's awesome.
I've always looked up to him. I feel like we're a little more punkier and um I don't know, they got quite a bit more technical and kind of changed
Oh,
it
for
up.
sure, especially on Human. I mean, that's when
Yeah,
kind of
especially Human, which I love. Like I said, I love them all, but big fan of Leprosy and Spiritual Healing. Those
yeah,
two I felt like really kind of captured the death metal sound and death. And
yeah,
I respect them, Chuck doing his own thing and venturing out and experimenting, and
right.
it turned out awesome. But something about Leprosy and Spiritual Healing have always
Yeah,
kind of my favorites.
yeah. It's kind of got that rawness, the edge.
Got that early, just that was the game changer, I
Yeah,
guess.
it was.
And he definitely kept upping the ante. I mean, he's had all the skilled musicians and stuff, but just that classic death metal sound to me was Leprosy and Spiritual Healing. And yeah, we did Within the Mind
Yeah,
off
yeah,
Spiritual Healing on the new one.
yeah. It's
So
fantastic.
he's a bit of I'd say he's a bit of an influence, but we have our own thing going on too, I feel like. So
Oh, for
I don't
sure.
want to copy Death, but except for the cover.
Right.
But
So,
yeah.
so what's your I know it's a tough question, but what would be your favorite cut off the new album and why?
I have this just ready.
Excellent.
I was like, if we're gonna do this, I got to at least show the
Yeah,
CD cover. It's on
that's right.
vinyl and cassette. We did all three formats. It's weird. Worms Will Feast is getting all the plays on Spotify. I do like that song. Um, Brittle Chains, I thought turned out really good. One of Us is a tribute to the movie Freaks,
Oh, cool.
the 1930s Todd Browning movie.
Yeah.
Each album I try to do one song that's a tribute to early horror cinema.
Oh,
The
all
old
right.
black and whites, like Borderlack was a tribute to the movie Black Sabbath, and Sign of the Pentagram was a tribute to Lon Chaney Jr. Werewolf, the Wolfman. So One of Us is a tribute to Freaks, and I thought that one turned out really good. And really, I like the title track. I think Eye
Yeah,
of the Skull. It's
that's probably my favorite right there.
killer.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does get fast, but this album I feel like it's got its doomier kind of slow heavy moments for sure.
Yeah.
And this go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say,
The-
and it, but still has those kind of killer riffs that you guys are. I feel like you
Yeah.
Stonecutters are known for is that really great. There's a great powerful rhythm, but then those riffs that you guys come up with are just crushing. And I
We're
think this
pretty
one still
riffy.
has it. Yeah, yeah,
I
it's really
like to
awesome. Yeah,
I do focus it around a good riff a lot of times. I'll try to, as soon as I come across something from playing and practicing, I'll just kind of go from there. And then
yeah,
I have like song titles in my phone and written down that I think would fit over it. And it just kind of flows like that,
nice,
which
nice.
is a good thing. All of our albums are a bit different, but yes, that's something special about this one. I think the riffs and all
Did you
turned out great.
did you intentionally try to make any changes on this album, just to vary it up, or was it just how things
Well,
flowed?
it was it was written during like COVID really.
Okay,
So where everybody was kind of sitting at home, including myself, and I had a lot on my mind. There was a lot going on in the world with me, And I think it kind of shows with songs like The Search for Rest. It's kind of about how we're just in a fucked up situation,
Yeah.
the world and how the world is, and my life, and how it's just we may just be stuck here, kind of thing. It's how I kind of put it out there,
Right.
really. But I don't know. Each song's different and different subject matter, so it does vary.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It felt like it was just dark, and it gets pretty doomy and slow run a lot of it. I like to write some slow, kind of crushing riffs. I hope to
Yeah.
call them. I
Yeah.
like to call them. And I don't know. I've been writing some kind of faster stuff for the next one, and that's going to be on down the line. But
Yeah.
this still feels fresh. You know, it's got the instrumental track, Planet Chaos, which that song actually was written 30 years ago when
No shit.
the drummer and I have been playing together since high school,
Wow.
and we wrote that song on an old demo we had. We always liked it, and then we just kind of re-recorded it and put some solos and some samples in there and kept the name Planet Chaos,
Nice.
and threw it towards the end of the album, kind of like little Orion
Yeah.
kind of thing, you know. Kind of second, it's second to the last song, like Orion, and just
Yeah.
fits there. And
I like a good
yeah,
instrumental thrown in the mix, just to kind of
me
change
too.
things up, you know?
We do that on every other album or so. We'll just have an instrumental. I just like I don't need to sing over this. I can
Right.
just
Yeah. Just let it
let it
jam.
breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
yeah.
what's the songwriting process like for you guys? Um, do you guys get together like kind of old school jam and come up with shit, or is it somebody has a fully formed idea or partial idea and then brings it to the band? You guys kind of hone it.
Well, I do write most of the songs. I have to admit. I come in there usually pretty prepared. The drummer Johnny and I, we're kind of James Hetfield, Lars Ulrich it a bit,
Yeah.
and him and I will jam quite a bit. And then Chris, though, I'm no discrediting the other two guys because Chris adds all this icing on the cake with it. Plus, he
Yeah.
records us, so he can like sit in there on his own and like, hey, I put this over, and I'll be like, damn, that's excellent idea,
Right.
you know, spices it up a bit. And same with bass player Jace. Now Jace, our bass player, he's kind of more of a guitar player, but he rules. He can play bass too. I can play bass, so
Yeah.
but I wanted an actual bass player on there, and he um he really added a lot of flavor and kind of bass solos on parts, you know, and really does what I hope, you know.
Nice. Nice.
He's a bit of the younger kid in the band, and he's hungry and great, and it definitely takes all four of us.
Yeah. That's
But
cool.
I do come in there with whole songs a lot of times, but we'll tweak them for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I get some of the way I guess Chuck Schildner death, you know, I'm sure he kind of
Yeah.
primary
I have a
songwriter.
feeling that he was like the primary. Well, I know, and from what I read, he was, right? I mean,
Right. Well, like I guess in spiritual healing, like James Murphy's credited with him with like a song or two, and
yeah. Yeah.
same with Rick Ross, I think on Leprosy. I think he helped
Yeah.
write a bit,
And
but
who
I
was
think for the
that?
most part,
Who was that guitar player that ended up going into Cynic? He's
John Reinhardt was the drummer, and oh gosh, Paul Masvidal, was
yeah,
that
yeah, past
it?
Paul
Yeah.
Masvidal, yeah, because he was on
Uh-huh.
Human, I think, but
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, he was. Both of them, yeah. The
yeah,
Senate guys. I guess we lost Sean Reinhardt kind of
yep,
a year
yeah,
or two ago. Maybe 2 or 3 years now.
yeah.
But gosh, man, what an incredible drummer.
Oh, I know,
He's pretty sick.
yeah.
He
So,
kind of brought the speed up in that band. But go
oh,
ahead,
I
yeah.
know. Oh, yeah, I was gonna
He was
say,
kind of
yeah, that guy was incredible, and it's kind of cool that I mean, I feel sort of privileged to be, um, my age because I've been able to see all that shit, be
same.
like experience it.
I think we mentioned it before we started the interview, but I saw Death on Individual Thought Patterns and Human. And I was telling you, I got to meet Chuck,
Yeah.
and I was like 15-year-old kid, and he was awesome. He, just kind of stroked his ego, and he laughed, and
Yeah.
just told me he's great.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
don't know, yeah, long time fan.
Yeah. I've always
I like other stuff too, but yeah.
I've always struggled with talking to people that I admire, in a band. Um, just I don't know. Like become tongue tied when I'm like, all I can say is like, "Oh, you're awesome, dude," as opposed to like having some kind of meaningful conversation. Although I'm sure it's hard. I mean, because you've probably run into this where people will come up and say, "Hey, man, you're awesome," but then you're like, you really don't know each other, so you're not gonna really say, how the fuck are you doing and all this shit. You're not really gonna get into a deep
Really,
conversation, but
right. That's why really, if I'm a big fan, I'll just be like, man, I love this album and this song and what you do, and
yeah,
make them feel good about what they do.
yeah,
That's always kind of seems to be the right thing to say instead of, hey, do you know so and so? And they're
right.
gonna be like,
Or hand them your
they've got
tape. Hey, here's my
right,
band.
right. They've got a million things going on,
Right,
So,
right.
but
Well,
a little gesture is always they always people usually appreciate that.
hell yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
So, when did you get started? Like, what was the inspiration for you to want to play music?
Um, I started playing guitar when I was about 10 years old, and I just never stopped. My brother and I were kind of competitive, and he's my brother's a pretty good guitar player, and I wanted to be better than him. Kind of like, it's a sport or something,
Right, right, right.
I wanted to, I think a lot of it, to get a little deep, my father passed away when I was 11,
Oh man.
and he was murdered along with his date. It's kind of
Oh
a long
shit.
story, but it was a sudden thing. It was very traumatic for me, and it was hard to get through. And really, I feel like music and guitar and just it really helped me, and I really buckled down and was feeling strong emotions during that as a childhood, not having my dad around anymore, and I took it pretty hard, and I just kind of let it all out in the songs and stuff, and yeah, not that we're any kind of emo band,
Right.
but that I kind of like I grasp like I mean, like Neurosis and just heavy bands like that. They were really intense. Um, and I just grabbed onto music. And I mean, really, I was kind of a big Billy Squire fan before that. And when I was like eight,
Excellent.
nine, and, he was like the first guy,
Yeah.
the Stroke, and Everybody Wants You. I'm going back here,
Yeah.
but I was into that. I know the Rock Me Tonight video kind of hurt his career, obviously, but I don't know. I just liked his albums, and I was in a Rat, and they had
Oh
killer guitar
yeah.
players,
Yeah. Warren DeMartini, man.
Warren DeMartini and George Lynch. Those two specifically, I,
Yeah.
I loved their guitar playing, how fast they were, and how
Yeah.
raunchy and killer their riffs and solos were. But then I started getting into more into like I discovered Metallica and Slayer and then Death, and it just kind of then Napalm Death, and and it kind of like I wanted to go deeper and deeper,
Right.
and kind of get weirder and weirder. And I mean, I've been listening to the Mr. Bongle, and
Oh yeah.
'cause I just saw him with Dave Lombardo, and um, I mean, I'm all over the board, really, like Nick Cave and Agents of Oblivion, and I mean, I don't even know where to begin on, but I'm a pretty
Right.
diehard metal guy.
Yeah.
I was into hardcore a lot in my early 20s when I was doing My Own Victim, our early band,
Hmm.
and it was just kind of like I don't know, I was really into Sick of It All, Agnostic Front,
Right.
those bands, and we actually toured with Slapshot, like I was saying, Slapshot, Marauder, and But then with the Stonecutters thing, I was kind of getting into. I wanted to take it more like Maiden meets I Hate God meets Obituary or whatever. I
Yeah,
just kind
yeah,
of wanted to get doomier and faster at the same time, and just kind of take it to a different another level.
nice.
So here we are. It's been kind of a long road. It's been like 30 years, 30 plus years of me doing this. So
Yeah, man, that's awesome. That's really awesome. So what
apparently
keep
we played some shows together at Milwaukee Metal Fest and
may
all.
well,
So
yeah, maybe
it's
because
kind of
yeah,
ironic.
we were talking before because I was in uh you know I don't know
You
if
were in Battalion,
yeah, battalion, but I don't know if we were I don't know what kind of there's always the genre to put on a band. I don't know exactly what we were really. We were sort of like I don't know, like metal
thrash.
church. Yeah,
Okay.
but not quite thrashy. But then I know that our bass player really wanted to get into. He was huge into Obituary, so we had
Hmm.
some like death, backing vocals on a few songs like later. And I was really into Forbidden, so I wanted to
Sweet.
get
Me
more
too.
more technical. Um, but we never really quite got there. But we did it for like 6 years, I think. But yeah, it sounds
Huh.
like we might have been at the same Milwaukee Metal Fest. I think it was 94.
Yeah,
94.
that
Um,
sounds right. Yeah. And
yeah.
that's right when we signed to Century Media. We put out 6 albums on Century Media. 7. I'm sorry. 4 on Century Media, and then we kept going after that. So
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta
it's
grab
been a
that
long.
program. I've got the program downstairs. I gotta look. I'm gonna have to look at it after we talk to see, because the the name of your band sounds so familiar, and I'm kind of crossing it up because I went to Metal Fest a few times, and one I didn't play, um, and I saw DRI and Cannibal Corpse, and um, as we were talking, like Slayer was on that day that we played. They obviously played much later, like I don't know,
Yeah,
they were
that was a
headlining.
big deal.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty sure it was the first show with Paul Bailoff, Paul
Paul
Bostoff. I
Bostaph,
mean, or
yeah,
Paul Bostoff.
who had been in
And I remember,
Forbidden.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, I remember meeting Sammy Duet because that acid bath play. Because I remember hanging out with Sammy and meeting him. We talk about that. So
Yeah.
when I see him with Goatwhore now,
And
so
Did Anna Cruces play that show? I can't
that
remember.
sounds
I think
familiar. I think they might have.
I know I got and again I crossed them because one year I went and I was just hanging out watching the bands and ended up drinking a bunch of beers, and then somebody said like one of the bands was like, somebody want to play guitar, and so I jumped up on stage and I played like solo with these guys. I can't remember who they were though.
Oh wow.
Because they were just figuring it was just gonna be some idiot that didn't know how to play, and not that I'm a fucking great guitar player, but got up there and played with them. And then the other time when we did play, I dropped acid afterwards, and fuck,
But
like half of it, I don't remember what's going on.
really,
Yeah, it was pretty intense.
that's funny.
Yeah.
Sounds like it. You mentioned Obituary. I've actually gotten to open for them at least twice. Maybe it
Awesome.
might be 3 times.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
one was with Gruesome and Obituary, and the other one was with Unleashed and Obituary.
Nice.
And those two were I don't know, I'm a big fan, so that was fun.
Yeah. I was going to ask you,
Yeah.
like, what would be like a highlight so far of your musical career in terms of playing?
The Guar shows were always really good. We got to do about 4 or 5 Guar shows. We did about the same with Goat War. We got to
Nice.
do a few with Goat War. Um, Played a couple shows with Macabre. Was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
I like those guys a lot. I saw them at this last Milwaukee Metal Fest, and we got catch up.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
Yeah, and I like the Ringworm. We played with Ringworm a few times, and those guys are good.
Yeah.
I
Didn't
like them a lot.
I'm thinking of Berserker because that's where I first saw Macabre and also Ringworm, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Crazy, man.
I remember that. Yeah, we did a couple of Berserkers. Those were a lot of fun. I really like we played Barbecue. Um, I think it was the first year with Blowthar. It was right after Rocky had passed away. We played that year. Oh man, it was so much fun. That was like Go Horror, but I think it was Body Count,
Oh
Cro-Mags.
man.
I mean, it was on and on. Clutch. It was crazy. It was
Yeah,
crazy. It was
that's
awesome.
excellent.
So,
So you've
and
been,
you know,
oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Yeah,
No, go ahead. You were going.
we've done a lot of touring on our own too, like a
Yeah.
lot. um, but you know, I mean, like I was saying, like post COVID here, it's just we're going out. I figured you might mention it. We're going to go out in August
Yeah.
for with Cavalcade and the Mound Builders.
Nice.
So I
Nice.
mean, we're kind of itching to get out there and play some more. After we did the fest, you saw us at Oigs Fest,
Yeah.
which was a blast. Um, Kind of makes me want to start doing it again. We played Chicago right before Oigs Fest, and it was great. So I'm like, man, you know, people want to still see us.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
You
I
know,
could. Yeah. So,
well,
so how did the mini tour with those guys come about? Did you just hook up with
Mound
the cab?
Builders. I don't know
Oh,
if you're
really?
familiar with Mound Builders.
Yeah, I think they played Full Terror the same time that you guys did in 2016.
Probably, yep, yep.
'Cause
They're from Lafayette, Indiana.
okay.
Yeah, and we played with them off and on for for a long for years now. And I know James, the singer, um, and he brought it up, and he mentioned Cavalcade, and we go way back with both bands.
Nice.
Cavalcade has gotten us shows at Max for since we started. So I don't know if you ever been to Max in Lansing.
Yeah, yeah, I made it to Oigs, what was it? Right before COVID?
It might have
Uh,
been Ogre Fest then. They changed the
yeah.
name. Could have been or still.
I think it was like in the transition when it had gone from Ogre to Oig, I think.
Right.
But it was at
Kind of the
Max.
same thing.
Yeah.
Right. They just renamed it.
Right.
Yeah. But those Max shows are always so much fun and we just decided to do it. I really want to get Cavalcade and Mound Builders a good Louisville show. We're gonna finish the tour in Louisville.
Nice.
And we always draw pretty well here, so we're gonna give them a good time.
Excellent.
We're
And
playing this place called Planet of the Tapes, like
I,
Planet of the Apes, but it's
yeah,
Planet of the Tapes.
I saw
And it
that
has
on the
VH,
poster.
yeah, it's got like VHS cassettes all over the place, and old movie posters, and props, and masks, and I think the Cavalcade guys will get a good kick out of it. They're gonna
Oh
like it.
yeah, yeah. I know
So,
that Brad and Sean are both big horror fans. The
oh
whole
yeah,
band is really, but yeah.
yeah, they're gonna love this place. We're gonna give them. Last time we played there, we had about 200 people.
Nice.
So, we'll give them a good crowd and a good show. It's on a Saturday night, so it should do well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, our hometown show is always usually get a few hundred people there if we really get the word out. So it should. This place holds about 200, so that'll pack it pretty good.
That's cool. So what
So
is the local scene like for Louisville?
man, it's really good here in Louisville. Blind Scryer is a local favorite. I really like this band Galactic Spectre. They're an instrumental band, and they dress in these crazy get up. It's hard to describe. Um, but yeah, I mean, I love a lot Ohm, Redivider. Um, Everybody's kind of knocked loose
Yeah,
is out of here, and they're blowing the fuck up.
yeah.
They're kind of younger kids. They're a little younger generation, but they're going out with Slipknot, and
Holy crap.
they're getting pretty big.
Yeah,
But the underground metal and metal scene here is, it's stoner, doom, thrash. We got a little bit of everything here.
that's awesome. That's
Some
awesome.
good bands. I'm proud of our scene here.
Cool,
A
cool.
lot of history.
So, in your musical journey, what would you say would be some of the most influential albums that you've that were just kind of pivotal in your musical career?
Oh wow. Um, there's a local band, King Horse. A lot of people are familiar. familiar with them because Glenn Danzig helped them out and got them on Caroline Records and stuff. But they're a local band, and their albums really affected me a lot, being from here and stuff. Gosh, a lot like the Death stuff. I'm a pretty big Iron Maiden fan.
Nice.
Power Slave, the first up to Seventh Son. I
Yeah.
think are like 11 out of 10. I would say, you know.
Right, right.
Um, of course, Priest and the early Metallica and I don't know. I like a lot of weird underground. There's a lot of European hardcore I like Backfire and Rikers. Um, this band Brightside. These are all European bands.
Uh-huh.
Um, I'd almost have to thumb through my collection to even go through
Yeah.
it all. I love like I was mentioning, I love the Accused. Um,
Is there anything that somebody would be surprised at, like, oh shit, I didn't realize Brian liked X?
mm, I mean the Billy Squire thing, possibly. Um,
We won't hold it against you, though.
I don't know. I don't know. I do like the Black Label Society. That might be a
Mhm.
shocker because I know people are hit and miss on that, but
Yeah, some people are
I think
like super like into Zach Wild,
some
and
people
some people are like, "Fuck that guy."
super
But
hate it, super
I
hate him.
I
Yeah,
like I like him. I think he does maybe one or too many, pick harmonics, but whatever.
right. Yeah. Um, I appreciate his guitar playing. I like this guy Andy Timmons. He's just super. He started out in this hair metal band Danger Danger, but he does solo albums. Steve Vai actually puts out his albums, but he's
Oh,
he's from Kentucky,
oh, cool.
and he's really phenomenal and blowing up and deserves every bit of it.
Nice.
Um, yeah, Steve Vai's like big fan of his and puts his music out, and
I'll have to check
gosh,
it out.
I don't even know where to begin. I mean, I just went to Milwaukee Metal Fest, and I love Overkill. They
Yeah.
played, and gosh, of course, like Anthrax. I'm trying to dig deeper here. I mean, I like Satan, the band Satan, and
Oh yeah, I
King
remember.
Diamond. I mean,
Yeah.
I could just kind of go on and on.
Yeah. Did you ever get into
Um,
like melodic death metal or any of the like Carcass rock or anything like that?
I love Carcass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, trying to think here. It's been a long day, and you were mentioning, was it Arcturus? Um, it's weird. I listen to a lot of kind of local stuff and surrounding
Yeah.
area. I mean, Indianapolis has got a big scene, right? I dig some Flesher. I don't know if you've heard them.
Uh-uh.
Um, I book these Metal Mondays
Oh,
in Louisville every Monday, but it's been going on for probably 9 years. Last night we had Indianapolis band Blasted Heath and a Pittsburgh band Razorblade, and
nice.
they were both awesome.
Nice.
I like going in blind, and it always surprises me,
Yeah.
because these bands bring it. The week before we had that Galactic Spectre local band. A lot of touring bands come through and love it because it packs out, but it's really become a thing in Louisville. It's
Really?
always good
On a
turnout.
Monday even, right?
Monday, Mondays can be awful on the road,
Yeah.
and these are always good Mondays. So the bands are like, "Holy shit!" I've had bands tell me it's the best show of their tours.
Wow, well, that's
So
awesome.
it's uh,
It's
you
very
know
cool.
it's a little more like playing a party. It's a small room and small stage and small PA,
Yeah,
but people pack in there and they're very receptive
that's
of the
cool.
bands. And Stonecutters plays it once every year, and
Yeah,
we had Lich King play,
nice.
Havoc. I mean, we've had some bigger bands
Yeah,
like that on
Havoc.
this.
Havoc is awesome.
Snafu, a lot of Detroit bands where you're
Oh
from.
yeah,
Snafu's
Snafu. Those
played
guys are
it.
awesome.
Child Bites played it. Against the Grain's played Metal Monday here.
Yeah,
So, ton of
those,
bands.
those guys are coming back too. They've done a couple shows. They
Against
get
the Grain.
yeah, yeah.
They did some of the Guar shows with us.
Oh, that's
And
right. Yeah, because they toured
yeah,
with Guar. Yeah.
it was like a few of them, I believe, a couple at least were just Stonecutters against the grain Guar.
Nice.
So it was special, you
Yeah.
know.
That's a good
And the
lineup.
Guar, yeah, the Guar fans, they show up early too.
Yeah.
They're ready to go.
They want to be up
So
front, covered in the
yeah, and
Guar.
we really brought it at those shows and came out swinging. So we knew we had to.
That's
Played
awesome.
Bogarts in Cincinnati with Warren against the Grain and Iron Reagan. They were on that show too.
Oh yeah, Iron
Yeah,
Reagan,
that
another
was a
great band.
special. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was killer.
So
Uh,
do you have any pre-show rituals, things you've got to do before you go on stage?
I tell you what, um, the past uh, since COVID and playing back, I haven't been. I stay sober because I don't wanna fuck it up.
Right, right,
I played. I've been doing this a long time. I played drunk. I played high and on different things. You
right,
know,
right.
and I save it till after
Mm-hmm.
because I just want to be on my game
Yeah,
and just get through it 100%, and then it's party on after that.
right, right.
But that's been a bit of a ritual. I used to get fucked up a little bit and
Yeah,
drink some before I play, and maybe a beer or two before I play.
yeah.
Um, but
A beer
really not
might
so
like
much anymore.
kind of take the edge off a little bit.
Takes it.
Uh,
I think I did Oix Fest because it was an all day thing. I think, man,
yeah, I
I
got
gotta
it.
get the edge off and
That's
loosen
right.
up here. And
That's right.
we got a few hours before we go on, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
We had a great spot and time at that. We played at 8 o'clock, I think,
yeah,
at Oix Fest, and I had a great crowd that night. I was really happy with that show, and you were
yeah.
there, so
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I thought it was, and I thought Brad did a great job of. And he always does of getting a mix. That's what I like is like,
I do too.
some variety, something you're not expecting. Like you said, for the Monday, you come in, you don't really know, and then the band knocks it out of the park.
Oh
Or
man,
and it's cool.
I was turned on to a lot. I didn't really think there was a bad band, and they were all so different. Like that Coyote Man, I think he
Oh
was
yeah,
called,
those guys were
from
awesome.
Chicago, the
Yeah.
Cult of Space Skull. I was pretty blown away by that.
I've seen
That
them before, and I
they
kind
ended the night
yeah,
great. It's
yeah,
pretty wild. And of
yeah.
course, we played shows with Centenary and
Yeah.
and Throne is awesome. I really like
Oh yeah.
Throne for the
Yeah.
for the brutal
Yep.
death metal stuff.
Yeah.
So it was great. Cavalcade. It's
Yep.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, it was all awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Every band.
He does great with that vest.
Yeah. And like I said, I just love the variety because I think that's what makes it. Not that I'm opposed to like a full bill that's like all technical death metal or whatever. That's
Right.
fun too. But it's cool when you have the kind of somebody to throw you a curve but it's still
Yeah.
heavy or sounds good. Because not everyone's
Right.
definition of heavy is different, right?
Yes. I mean, look
Yeah.
at Cavalcade. I mean, they're
Yeah.
pretty out there.
Yeah.
So they're
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
They're gonna be listening to different stuff besides just straight metal, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I know
For sure.
Craig does.
Yeah.
So it's usually, I went to Milwaukee Metal Fest. That's pretty much all metal.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Brad and them kind of mix it up. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah,
So, so is there any
good
place
times.
that you'd like to? So, and is sort of like a fantasy question, but if you could play anywhere in the world with Stonecutters, where would you like to play? And is there bands you'd like to play with?
Man, I really wanted to get us over to Europe like my own victim did.
Yeah.
I spent 6 months of my life over there touring, and it was. I gotta admit, those were the best shows of my life over in Europe. They treated us well, so good, and we were doing big tours where there's 1,000 people a night on opening
Wow.
for Biohazard over there,
Yeah.
and Slapshot and all these bands. And that was early on. I felt like I kind of was still chasing dream of getting over there and playing to huge crowds. And
Yeah.
it's still, the whole ride's been fantastic, but I really wanted to get back over to Europe. I mean, I'd still like to. Um, Japan as well. I never played Japan, but I always heard how awesome it is over there. We
Yeah.
played some shows with I Hate God, and they were talking about it, how Japan was incredible for them.
Wow.
Um,
What do you think it
so
is
yeah,
about that? Like, Europe and like, it just seems like, is it just because there's more people that are um, into metal,
it
or
was
is it
totally
just
different. Like,
concentrated?
well, Europe, um, it was a different ball game. Where like, um, we have a lot of security over here. I feel like,
Hmm.
bouncers and getting thrown out, and then they'll be between the audience and the band
Yeah.
a lot of times. I noticed in Europe they're right on you. They're just like have their arms over the stage. They really don't shove each other around in the pit like they do here, which I
Wow.
don't mind that. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
people do whatever they want,
Right.
but over there they kind of just like they're all kind of like all over each other, and they'll jump around, kind of pogo a bit, and
Yeah. Yeah.
it's the way they react is like, it's different. We got treated completely different. Like, the catering was phenomenal over there. We go and there'd be all kinds of food and
Oh
a
man.
table, and they're what do you need? We're like, honestly, in the States, you're lucky to get a pizza, you know.
Right.
So there's big differences. I gotta admit. We got on a bus over in Europe, and it was just kind
Yeah.
of got treated really special over there.
That's cool. That's cool.
So I love that vibe of it. And I don't know, we went all over the place over in Europe, and it was really awesome in
Any
my
pa-
20s.
any particular
But,
venue that you'd like to go back to that you can think of?
we played Melkweg Max in Amsterdam 3 times. I played London Astoria a couple of times, which is the big place in
Yeah.
London.
Yeah.
Um, and then we played Rotterdam, Tilburg, SO36 in Berlin. But in the States, I got to play Bogarts a bunch in Cincinnati, which is a big place.
Yeah.
A lot of big vendors. The Norva in Norfolk. We played New Year's. Stonecutters open for War on New Year's Eve at the Norva, and that was in 2019, right before COVID
Oh man.
shut everything down. But we got to do a big War New Year's Eve show, and that was with Against the Grain. And I think that was just us three at that show. That was one of the shows. It was just us three. But yeah, I've gotten to play a lot of great venues, and um, I'm happy with everything.
Cool.
Just I did. I'm thinking now. I just turned 50 in April,
Oh, you're a
so
youngster, man.
it's kind of like, man, I'm not young anymore. Do I want to live in a van? I keep. I mentioned this in another interview, but I keep going back to Danny Lilker from Nuclear
Yeah.
Assault. I'm talking
Anthrax.
about.
Yeah.
He just did a stint with Anthrax. I remember when he years ago he turned 50. He's older than that now,
Yeah.
but he said he's done touring. And I don't know if that's the case with. I don't want to say never,
Right.
because I'm going out and doing little tours here still.
Right. Right.
But my attitude's changed a little. I don't feel like I need to kill myself doing it like I used to. I used to tour. I toured a lot up until 2020.
Right.
So I've kind of slowed it down. I kind of like that. I kind of like doing things on my terms, our terms, instead of man, we got to live on the road at all times.
Yeah.
It kind of wore me out a little bit to where I'm like, I like the pace I'm at,
That's cool.
and yeah, I
Very
love
cool.
playing fest, honestly, and booking tours around a fest,
Yeah.
and just doing it that way. You're at least going to have one great show.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because looking back, man, oh god, I played some embarrassing nobody there shows,
Oh, yeah.
and kind of like breaking my heart. Like, man, I've been doing this a long time, and there's nobody here.
Right. Right.
That'll kind of does something to your soul. Like, man, what am I doing with my life? You know.
Right. Right.
So that's why a little bit feels like less is more at my age,
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
I still want to do it, but yeah, we'll see
Yeah.
what happens. I really like putting out music. Like I like putting out of the skull, and I want to put out something new. And then I feel like, yeah, I can go out and push this new thing. Like we're still pushing out of the skull,
Yeah.
so I like to have something new a lot of times and new music, and that
Well, I
way it
think
feels fresh.
yeah, I think it's a good approach to take, to like eh, not have to kill yourself necessarily. Like you said, live in a van or whatever.
It
Um,
got a little unenjoyable at
yeah,
times.
yeah,
I now when I go out, I'm like stoked,
yeah,
and 'cause, I do have a wife at home, and
right.
and I love her and miss her. And I remember Chuck Schildner didn't want to go on tours because he missed his cats.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot.
Well, yeah,
It's
at the end of the day, though, you gotta what you do has to bring you joy. If it's not bringing you joy, and it's a
right.
grind or something, then there's no fucking point in doing it, right?
Exactly, exactly. I want to go out there and have fun,
Yeah.
and get my point across and scream in people's faces with our music and that too. But
Yeah.
that's kind of like 30 minutes out of the whole day. So you get up there for that 30 minutes. So I'm gonna be pumped and excited, and
Yeah.
not like, man, there's nobody here, and
Right.
I'm getting bummed that.
Yeah.
So it's become a little bit more quality over quantity,
Well, that's
I should
cool.
say, with me.
There's not,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. So it's a good approach to take, really.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, do you remember what was the very first concert you ever went to?
Oh God, Tina Turner.
Really? Awesome.
My mom took me to see. She was into Tina Turner, and me too. I saw her on the Private Dancer
Oh, cool. Awesome.
tour, and then that was that was like middle school, and then I saw Genesis, and
Nice.
then it was two different concerts, but then I saw Bon Jovi and Poison. Yeah, I think I was like 13, 14, and they
Yeah.
were Bon Jovi was Wanted Dead or Alive was a big hit, and I think I went with my older brother.
Cool.
So, but then I started going into like death metal and thrash shows. I saw Clash of the Titans,
Oh, yeah, that
Anthrax,
was
Slayer,
great.
Megadeth, Alice
Yeah,
in Chains open.
that was awesome.
That is still to the day one of my favorite concerts ever. Just
Were people being
changed my life.
assholes to Alice in Chains at the show? Because when I went to see that, I was kind of liked Alice in Chains. I mean, I had only heard like maybe one song, which I think was Man of the Box. So I
Hmm.
saw them and I was like, I was ready to see them. There was hardly anybody there, and then the few people that were there, like some of them were like, get the fuck off the stage, and like, what the fuck? I mean, I thought they were good, but
I heard that, but I caught like the last song, unfortunately. Maybe two songs at the
yeah.
end, and I couldn't really tell. It seemed like they were kind of kicking ass,
Yeah. Well, they
really, and
kicked
people were
ass. I
liking it.
mean, yeah. Well, those fuckers get. Yeah, I thought they were awesome.
As soon as the second band Anthrax came on, the pit erupted and it was
Yeah.
on for the rest of the night.
Right.
But
Right.
I'm sure that was a crazy wild crowd for Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
I think around the same time I saw the Headbangers Ball tour, which was Anthrax, Halloween, and Exodus,
Oh, cool.
and that was a good game changer. So
Yeah.
I kind of dove into thrash then, and then death metal, and I saw Napalm Death a bunch, and
Yeah.
Obituary. I saw Deicide on Legion tour and those death shows, and
Yeah. I saw Napalm
so
Death that in this little tiny like bar in Toledo with
mhm.
At the Gates opening up for him. It was
Oh
just
wow,
fucking awesome. It was so good. I was
I
there
bet.
mainly to see At the Gates because I was a huge At the Gates fan. Because I had,
Blood of the Soul.
yeah, well, I got
That's
into
you.
him with Terminal Spirit Disease, that album right before. And I was like, fuck, this is so good. And then they came out with Slaughter of the Soul, and I was like, oh, yeah.
It
So,
was all over.
yeah, I was
They
huge
kind of
At the
blew
Gate
up
fans.
then.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. So, what was the best concert you've ever been to? What would you rank up there?
I mean, that Clash of the Titans was very memorable and really kind of set me on my journey. I felt like
Nice.
um, there's been some Iron Maiden. I'm gonna get a little deep here, but there's been a couple of Iron Maiden shows where I kind of got a little teary eyed. It was just
Nice.
I love them that much. You know, they're playing
Yeah,
"Hallowed Be
yeah,
Thy Name," and I'm just like
yeah.
singing it, like feel like I have my life flashing before me or something. You know,
Yeah,
that's a deep kind of intense in band for me.
yeah.
You know,
That was like
so,
one of the first heavy bands. Like, so, um, I can still remember, like, we went, I got into like Judas Priest and, but hadn't really listened to like, we were listening to, I think, British Steel and got into Ozzy, but had never really listened to like Black Sabbath or Iron Maiden. And we went to the record store, me and my buddy. I bought Black Sabbath's Sabotage. He bought Killers, and
mhm.
that's what we listened to like constantly. And then we
Oh
became
wow,
huge Maiden fans. I mean, like you said, like those up to Seventh Son. I was like, went to every show. We saw Maiden open for 38 Special. Like,
damn, are you serious?
yeah,
Wow,
yeah, when they were doing
that's
the
pretty awesome.
what was that? Number of the Beast. And then when they
Holy shit.
when they toured with Judas Priest and opened for Priest, yeah,
Those were you caught them early on. That's
yeah,
pretty great.
it was great. Yeah, and we were
Huh.
actually, and there was actually a little bit because we had been so heavily invested into like Killers in the first album that
Mm,
when they got Bruce, we were like, ah, I kind of, and I still sometimes like Diano in some things as in a and because I
right.
don't think Bruce can sing some of those songs the right way, but
I've heard other people say that.
there's just some there's like when Bruce sings like Iron Maiden, I think Diano sang it better, right? Because they do it at
Yeah.
the concert all the time. But yeah, yeah, I loved. I
It's
mean,
it is kind of I like the how he Bruce sang the Klansman
yeah.
and the other one. He sings the other singer guy that was in Maiden for a little. Oh, I'm
Oh
forgetting his.
yeah, can't remember that dude's name.
He really brings
He does that
sings
one great. Yeah,
yeah, like man, he should have sang on that song on the album because
he
it's like
should have. Yeah, yeah.
it's pretty amazing. On that Rock and Rio is one thing of the live Rock and Rio. He sings the other guy, the Klansman, and the other song. It's so good, man. He's
Yeah.
but
And
yeah, I know what you're saying about the Diano stuff. It's
yeah. And
I almost feel like they should leave those alone. Maybe I don't know.
well, I love that they still play him. I wish sometimes they'd play like, Genghis Khan or
Mm-hmm.
what the fuck was the other instrumental? Oh, blanking out right now. But
Me too.
yeah. But
Um, I love how they do a Phantom of the Opera.
Phantom of the Opera though,
Um,
yeah.
that's a great song. Yeah, any of those early songs. I think he sings that one all right. I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I
But
love all the Maiden stuff. Well, when they came back with Brave New World, I really liked that one a lot. I don't know if you checked out Brave New World, but
yeah.
great
And I
album.
and I went to check out the last tour, which was good. That
The Legacy of the Beast tour was awesome. The greatest hits
yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah. It
They
was
had the
awesome.
big stage show. It was an incredible
Yeah.
stage show. We may be getting off subject here, but
Right.
I do love some Maiden.
Yeah. Yeah. We could probably talk about Maiden the whole time.
I've had, I love, there's some early Guar shows I'm kind of an old school Guar fan.
That's awesome.
I, I jumped in the blood early on, and I'm a huge Brocky fan and Corey Smoot that passed away, and Scum Dogs for life, really.
That's
I
awesome.
mean, I'm kind of an ICP juggalo about it. I don't care if people hate me for it. It's like that's my jam.
That's it. That's it.
I like their music about as much as their stage show. I do jam Battle Maximus and Lust in Space. I just bangers. I think they're bangers.
That's awesome.
Yeah, huge
Fantastic.
Brocky fan. I do love Brocky. a
Awesome.
lot.
Awesome.
So,
Well,
there's a Louisville guy, Jameson. He was Beefcake.
really?
For on Battle Maximus and gosh, I want to get it wrong. Oh, Blood of Gods. And he is. I have to give him credit for getting us on the Gore shows.
Oh, cool.
He pulled some strings, and they got Casey Orr back, the original bass player, or not the original Bishop. Kind of a long story with them,
Right.
but
Kind of a rotating
yeah,
cast.
Jameson was very helpful when he was in Guar, getting us on shows with them.
That's
So
cool. Very cool.
he's in a band called Belushi Speedball now.
Oh yeah, I've heard of them.
They're actually touring Europe right now. They're over in Europe.
Yeah.
They're playing a festival and maybe some other shows.
Yeah. They were
But
just in Detroit, I think, not too long ago.
yeah, I think they played Sanctuary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. They have a crazy show. They throw all this stuff out on the crowd and they go wild, and it's its own thing as well. It's
Right.
quite an experience to see them.
I'll have to check that
Yeah.
out.
And buddies of mine, they're from here. They're doing really good. So there's a
Cool.
lot of good bands here.
Yeah. So you've
But,
got the little mini tour coming up that's in August, right? First.
August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, we are playing Kalamazoo again at the Runoff, and then Lafayette. We're playing. Oh gosh, I can't remember the venue right now. We're playing Lafayette and then Louisville,
Nice.
and then we're gonna play a little more in August. We got some other stuff in August going
Oh,
on
cool.
our own.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
be
And
coming up.
then you mentioned that you guys are kind of working. I mean, you're always working on new music, and you like to do that just to keep fresh. So,
Yeah,
thinking about doing like a EP or something in
I think
fall,
we're gonna do like a 5 or 6
winter.
song EP. I've got some songs. I've got this new one called Born to Rot, and
Nice.
it's kind of more fast deicide, and then it kind of breaks down. I don't know. We're kind of mixing it up.
Yeah.
I like to change the tempos up, and another one called Destination Isolation, and yeah, we've got some good stuff in the works.
Cool. Cool, man.
So hopefully bust those out soon live. I just want to make sure they're all ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I want to, I know I can't do it forever, but I want to release a little more music and play, and
Oh,
it's not over yet.
yeah, you're still a young man, dude. I'm
I
60.
feel like
Come
it,
on.
yeah. Right. As long as yeah, as long as as long as I can still do it and not sound like shit or something,
That's right. That's right. And you're
Gosh, I
having
mean,
fun, right?
and
That's the
having
key,
fun.
right?
Some
It's got
guys, I mean, like I was listening to some it's cheesy as hell with Bon Jovi. And man, oh, some of these guys sound pretty rough these days. And
yeah.
I'm thinking, man, I don't want to like
Yeah. Yeah.
force it going out there if it's not going to sound good live.
Yeah.
So I'm a little
Yeah.
picky in that sense. I want to be powerful,
I
you
think that's the
know?
way to go, just like go out at the top, but go as long as you can, right?
Right.
That's the key,
Yeah.
right? So,
True. I mean, there's definitely guys older than us out there doing it.
hell
So
yeah. I just saw Rob Halford. He sounds awesome. He's
that's what I'm
seven,
hearing.
he's 72 years old or something like that.
It's
Like,
great. Hitting all the high notes.
yeah, I was like, how did that guy keep his voice? Because that's what happens to a lot of those high singers. Well, your vocal cords age like the rest of you, and it kind of, or you blow your vocals out because tried to scream, your testicles into your fucking chest. But yeah, he
Right.
sounded awesome, fantastic.
Good. Good. And, like, I know Dave Mustaine, he had like some throat surgery, and I think he's having a little hard time singing.
Yeah.
And then I watched him, I was like, man, I don't know if I'd want to do it and not be able to
Oh, I
pull it
know.
off,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah. That would be tough.
But,
Is to be like not, eh, yeah, being able
I mean,
to
if you're at
do
Dave Mustaine's
100%.
level, people are expecting,
Yeah.
think they want to hear him, and Megadeth wants to tour, and the show goes on. But I know he's with his surgeries and throat cancer. I know it's been a rough road
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah.
So
Well, And we were just talking about Maiden. Those dudes are well into their 60s, mid 60s.
They sound
Yeah.
as
And they're
good as
awesome.
better than ever. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, see, there you go, dude. It's just,
Yeah.
go as long as you can, as hard as you can, as long as you're having fun. Boom.
That's true.
You're good. Awesome.
I'm with it.
Well,
Yeah.
Brian, I want to thank you so much for being on Fans of Bands. I got
Thank you, Chuck.
I got one last
Okay.
question for you. And that is
Okay.
pineapple or no pineapple on pizza?
On pizza, oh, I got the dog barking here. I can give or take it. I like pineapple, but it's okay not to. My wife's favorite is ham and pineapple.
All right.
So
All
we
right.
do eat that.
All right.
But
Cool.
if I have to, I'll do half and do sausage or something on the other half.
Yeah.
But
Nice.
yeah.
Cool, man.
Good
Well,
stuff.
yeah. Well, thanks again for being on Fans with Bands. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Chuck. And I hope to see you in Kalamazoo if you get a chance. If not, it's
Yeah.
okay.
I'm going to try to make it out there, man.
Sweet. Thank you for the opportunity here.
All right, man. Take care.
Appreciate it. Take care.
See ya. Many thanks to Brian from Stonecutters for joining me on this episode of Fans with Bands. It was an absolute honor to talk with Brian about his career and his band Stonecutters. I've been a fan since seeing them first at Full Terror Assault back in 2016. Their monstrous riffs have kept me hooked, and their latest album, Eye of the Skull, is a metal masterpiece. If you get a chance, check out Stonecutters' mini tour with Cavalcade and Mound Builders. They will be in Kalamazoo on August 1st, Lafayette, Indiana on August 2nd, and Louisville, Kentucky on August 3rd. Stay tuned to their website and socials for the latest news, and see the show notes for all the details and links. Bands are nothing without you, the fans. Purchasing music and merchandise is critical to their survival. If you can help out your favorite bands, please do. If you're in Michigan, consider following the Playing in Detroit Area Tonight and SE for Southeast Michigan Music Facebook pages. They are fantastic places for fans and bands to support each other and share our combined love of music. Thank you all so much for listening. Be sure to hit subscribe on your favorite podcast service to get each and every episode of Fans with Bands. Spread the word by rating the show, telling your friends, telling your neighbors, telling your family, telling your priest, tell everyone, and leave a comment. We want to hear what you think. You can keep in touch by following us on social media. This is a Life in Michigan production. Until next time, be well and kick out the jam.